Hello, everybody. I think we are live. It is Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. I heard from several people that they are busy tonight, so I hope you'll be here. And if you're not here, I hope you have a chance to watch the replay. So, welcome to Insights with Ivanna. This is a weekly broadcast designed to help you identify, embrace, and live more fully in your genius by illuminating important pieces of information that you actually already possess. So today I will be sharing step 9 of 10 ways to illuminate your insights. Hi there, I'm Ivanna, the founder and chief luminary officer of Illuminate Insights, an intuitive life coaching brand. If you've joined me, please say hi because I don't know you're here unless you say hello. So I'm checking the comments box. You'll see me looking over at my other screen to see who might be with us tonight. Hoping to get a few people. I'm trying a new feature with questions. Not just polls, but questions to see how that works. I'll launch them even if I don't have any live viewers just to see how it actually works. And also there's supposed to be a website address showing in the broadcast. So you'll have to let me know if you can see that. Again, if you're here, say hi so that I know you are here. So step number 9 out of the 10 steps tonight is be yourself, because nobody else can be you. And nobody else can be me, and that's probably a good thing because two of me would be quite a lot to handle. I've been told before that I'm a bit much or a handful, and I'm waiting for comments in the chat box about that. But, you know, I've had to learn how to be myself while still respecting the needs and the boundaries and the expertise of others around me. And that has been a journey and something that I am continuing to hone every day. So I am known to be rather outspoken, funny, and impatient. So when I first started my state job, my manager would warn me before every public encounter, whether it was a meeting or a conference or whatever it was, she would say, "Filter, Ivanna, filter." And it was a well-needed reminder because at that point in my career, I was not sure I even had a filter. And when I'm talking about a filter, I mean on my mouth. Comes in the head, comes out the mouth. So she would always be reminding me to filter. So let me give you an example. Early in my career, I was put on an interdepartmental project. Truthfully, I think I was chosen because I was new and my schedule was open. So anyway, when the project manager asked us to go around the table and introduce ourselves and tell what we bring to the project, I kind of panicked because everyone else at the table was way above my pay grade. Remember, I was new and I wasn't really sure what I was bringing to the table. So I took a deep breath. I trusted my intuition, and when the time came around for me to introduce myself, I opened my mouth, and out came, "I'm Ivanna, and I'm here to be your comic relief." I kind of groaned inside, like, really? Is that the best you had? But everybody at the table laughed, and the leader absolutely loved it. She would even call on me throughout the project during meetings when things got tense, like, "Ivanna, hello, where's our comic relief?" And somehow I always managed to deliver. It was a really great opportunity to be myself, to trust my intuition. And what it did is it led to me building a reputation around the agency for being able to keep meetings on track. Remember that impatient part of myself I talked about? And being able to really break up the impact of a stressful situation by using my humor. Now, I also built a reputation for being creative, having good ideas and good solutions and getting things done. But it was the humor that set me apart. It was being myself, allowing myself to be funny and playful, even though I was in this new government environment, and that's what helped to set me apart. So I'm going to stop again and see if you're here. Please type in the chat box. I'd love to know who's with me tonight. As I said, I heard from a few people they wouldn't be able to make it, but I don't know you're here if you don't type something. So this is where I wanted to launch my first question. I want to know, can you think of a time where you took a risk and chose to truly be yourself and it actually paid off, like that situation did for me? So here's my opportunity to see how to open my question. When did you take a risk and choose to be your true self and it paid off? So there should be a card open. I'm not sure what it looks like on your side. So if you're watching and want to tell me what it looks like, that's great. I also have my version of the question. When did you take a risk? So I'll give you just a few seconds to type in the chat box. When did you take a risk and be your true self? and it actually paid off. So if you're watching the replay, feel free to pause and type your answers into the live stream of the answers. Again, if you're here, let me know so that I can say hello and I can give you a little more wait time. I'm going to close the card and see what happens with that and put my dashboard back on to see, oh, that's what the card looked like. All right. So hopefully everyone saw that. I'm learning these new pieces of technology with the process. So I really do want to hear from you. When did you take a risk? When were you your true self? For me, it was pretty risky in a group of higher ups that I didn't know to just say, hey, I'm your comic relief. It was an intuitive hit that worked. Sometimes things like that don't work, but it did. It worked. I trusted my intuition and it paid off for me. So I'd love to hear from you. When have you done that? So often we feel like if we take those risks and we are truly ourselves in a situation, we won't be appreciated. But those are the things that make you uniquely you. Each one of us is a gift. Each one of us brings a gift. And if we don't use our gifts, then the world is missing out. So let's go back to that filter deficit where I said I wasn't even sure I had a filter. So the reminders from my boss continued for quite a while. Every time I walked out, filter, Ivanna, filter. So when I decided to get remarried a few years later, my team actually gifted me a Ziploc bag with a label on it that said filter in capital letters. And inside it was just a common coffee filter. But they were so proud to tell me when they gave me that I no longer had the excuse to say that I didn't have a filter. Now I have to tell you, I've come a long way since those days, and sometimes I'm even touted as a great example of having an appropriate filter and actually using it. But I will tell you, filter or not, I am still true to myself. I have to be myself. So again, if you're here, please say hi. I know it's a busy week, but I would love to know that you are on. So, who am I? Sometimes I'm a real dichotomy, and being myself can be hard on me as well as confusing sometimes to the people around me. So, for example, I'm a rule follower, but I'm a rule follower who loves to think outside of the box. If there is any loophole, I'm going to find it. But following the rules are so important to me. That's similar to the fact that I'm a linear and a random random abstract processor. It all depends on what the need is. I can be extremely linear, step by step on how things have to do, if that's what's called for. But then I can also switch and become totally, as many of you have seen, totally random abstract. I'm a driven overachiever, but I love to have fun. And so I've found many ways to combine the two. I'm a lifelong learner, but I thrive on teaching others. And I feel like I learn so much by teaching other people. I'm a grown-up child. I'm very playful. I can be very childlike, but I can also be very, very serious and responsible. I'm a logical, emotional being. So there are certain things that I am all about the logic and other things where I'm all about the emotion. And again, it can be interesting for me as well as those around me. And my last one just says, I'm a spiritual human and a human with a spirit. So there's so many aspects of us that make us unique, that make us who we are. And when I talk about being myself, I can be almost two very different people, but I'm still being me. And I have to be true to that. So I believe that someone is on, and I would love for you to type in the chat box to let me know that you are here. So there's a lot of dichotomies in my nature, and I've not always been so confident in being who I am, in even understanding that I can be logical and I can be random abstract, that it's not being fake, that there are two parts of who I am and they depend on what the need is in the moment. And so, I've not always been so confident in that, and I talk about that in Women Who Shine. How because of my ease in learning things quickly, whether it be music or education, people would react to me in different ways. Sometimes it would be very negative, like, why are we going to help you? You seem to know it all already, even though I didn't feel I had done anything different other than when the first chair in a French horn competition kind of thing. And I talk about that in the chapter. And sometimes it's really positive attention, like, oh my gosh, you're so quick, you do that so well. But then they expect me to keep learning just as quickly. And so those things cause me to have self-doubt. That self-doubt creeps in, and I think, oh my gosh, should I not do my best? Should I not shine? Should I step back so other people aren't uncomfortable? And so a huge part of learning to be myself is not caring what other people think. And I don't mean that in a negative way. When I say not caring what other people think, I mean I have to know who I am and why I do the things I do, and I have to do them all in love. We talked about in step 2, do all things in love, and that is so important. And I have to share, when I was younger, I didn't really know how to do that. There wasn't always humility, but even when there was, if someone didn't treat me the same, it confused me, it upset me, I took it very personal. And I had to learn that being myself is a gift. It's a gift to me, it's a gift to others. And that's very hard for us to think about ourselves as being a gift, but each one of you are gifts, and you bring things. Sometimes the things that you think are the strangest or you're the most uncomfortable with, those are the things that make you so special, and those are the things that the world needs the most. So being yourself is so important. Hi, Reve, I'm so glad you're here. Being yourself is essential. But like I said, it's something we have to learn. It's something we have to come into, where we have to build our own confidence in even understanding who we are. Because I would have told you at one point that I was totally random abstract. But then I realized I get into certain situations and my impatience or my frustration comes because I want things to be linear, like in a meeting. So understanding myself and realizing I can be a dichotomy. I just have to learn how to use that appropriately and still be true to my needs and my wants while respecting others. So I'm really curious to know about you. Can you look in the mirror and tell yourself that you are proud of who you are? I'm really also curious to know what makes you uniquely you. So I'm going to try the question feature again. I'm not sure that I did it right last time. You should see a question on the screen that says, what makes you uniquely you? So if you'll take a second to type in the chat box, what makes you uniquely you? And if you're able to see that, let me know. If you're not able to see it, also let me know. But that should be showing in a card format. What makes you uniquely you? And just type in the chat. I'm going to put one of my own answers in. I made my paper version too. Oh, so Rebe says, I can see it, but I'm not sure. I'm not feeling very unique today, feeling very tired. Yes, many of us are feeling very tired, and I wasn't expecting a lot of people to be able to come tonight, and so I hope people will be able to listen to the broadcast. But you know, Rebe, if I can be so risky as to say that, thank you, you like the paper version too. You know, some of the things that make you so unique, in my mind, in our time together, is that you always have a different perspective on things. You can look at a situation and you can see an angle that sometimes others don't see. And that is so valuable when we think about working with the EL support team or working in education in any way, looking at something, maybe something's been done the same way before, but you're able to see it and ask questions and see pieces of it that are different. I think something else that makes you uniquely you too is your ability with languages. Oh my gosh, when I think about being a native speaker of English and being able to speak Japanese fluently and understand the culture, not just the language, that's a very unique thing. There aren't that many people out there that do that. To you, it's probably very normal because it's just your life, but it's a very unique piece of who you are, and it's a beautiful part of what you bring, because I think that's why you can see things from different angles sometimes, is because you have such a deep cultural understanding of a culture other than the one that you're living in at this time. So I hope you don't mind me sharing some of my thoughts on what makes you so uniquely you. And if you think of something else, share it too. I typed one in. I said, I'm known for dancing in the aisle at the grocery store and at the Verizon store with my husband. We are well known at the Verizon store. So I said earlier in the broadcast about how I can be childlike and playful and humor and break up the tension in a situation. I don't know if any of you have spent hours at the Verizon store like I often do. But it can be very taxing for us as the people waiting, as well as the people working there that are trying so hard to get through that long list. And so there's always great music blasting at the Verizon store, and my husband and I are known for starting to do East Coast swing in the middle of the Verizon store, where there's usually plenty of space for it. We're pretty well known there. But that's part of what makes me uniquely me. Not everybody I know will just start dancing in the aisle of the grocery store or in the middle of the Verizon store to try to just release some stress. You didn't know about my public dancing. Somewhere on Instagram, my daughter-in-law has a video that you'll find that you will understand this, Reve. My daughter-in-law is from Japan. And when she filmed us dancing in the Verizon store, she cut all our heads off. And I was so confused. Why did she cut all of our heads off? And you know the answer. My son had to explain it to me that in Japan, you're not supposed to videotape people's faces. So when you video things, you'll often chop their heads off so that you can show the action but not reveal who the people are. And so it was like, oh, I just thought she was a really bad photographer. But that was one example of our Verizon store dancing. Yeah, grocery stores too. People will come back down the aisle to check us out, and it's just a way to be playful, and that's part of what makes me uniquely me. And so, you know, if you're watching the broadcast later, please feel free to put in the comments what makes you uniquely you, because those things about us, some that we're aware of, some of the things we feel really good about, like I love dancing in the Verizon store, I love just being open like that, is something positive. But sometimes it's the things about us that we don't like or that we're uncertain about that really are the things that the world needs to see more of, that we need to dig into, and that we need to become comfortable with. So, you know, I know I talk a lot. I know that I have a lot of ideas, and I know that especially when I was younger, that impatient part of me was always interrupting with great ideas. Well, the unique part of me that needed to be grown was the unique ideas, because the unique ideas are what have taken me forward in my career. But what I had to learn to temper was my need to interject constantly. And if you work with me on a daily basis, you know I still work on that on a daily basis. But really learning how to take those things about us that are special, like being able to see things from a different angle, and trusting that and using that for a positive way. I know I ask a lot of questions, and some people get very frustrated with me asking so many questions. But when I use those questions in the right way, that's what helps me see things from a different angle. That's what helps me create. So that's part of me being me. And being able to look in the mirror, which I'll talk about more in the next broadcast about loving yourself, but being able to look in the mirror and congratulate myself on the things I'm doing well, and to appreciate myself, and to be willing to be who I am. Because nobody else can be me. And nobody else can be you. Hi, Jody. I was just about to wrap up. Since you're here, Jody, I'm going to ask you to do something for me, if you're willing. The piece that we just did with a question, I'm going to put the question back up. The piece that we just did with the question is, what makes you uniquely you? And so it looks like we have several people on. If you would answer that, if you haven't already, or if you couldn't think of something a minute ago, maybe you've had more time to think now. What makes you uniquely you? So there should be like a card banner showing on your screen. And I shared that one of the things that makes me uniquely me is that I am known for dancing in the grocery store and the Verizon store with my husband. Hello, Zatley. I'm so glad you're here. There's a lot of things that make both Jody and Zatley uniquely them, and I already shared some about Reveille. So I'll give you a few seconds if you're willing to share something that makes you uniquely you. Because the broadcast today is all about be yourself. And Zatley, I don't know if you were on when I was talking about one thing that is part of me being me is having lots of ideas, and how I had to learn throughout my life to be patient and not have to insert my ideas all the time. And that for those that work with me every day, that is something I'm still working on. So I thought you'd get a good giggle out of that one. But I'll be quiet for a second, and I'll use my paper version too. What makes you uniquely you? And because I'm terrible with wait time, if you're not going to type anything, just let me know you're not going to type anything so I don't wait too long. Jody, if you typed something, it did not show up. All I got was hi. While we're waiting for Jody's answer, I'm going to try to guess if I can figure out something that she might say. Part of what makes Jody so unique is her love of music and her love of learning. Jody's got a huge heart, and music is a huge way that she expresses herself and uses it to help her with her moods in life. And hopefully she's typing something else as well. Aha! Yep, huge heart. My desire to help, my quirkiness and my silliness. Absolutely. And so knowing that about yourself, knowing you've got a huge heart, knowing you like to be fun-loving and silly, and that you're different, and embracing it, it's such an important part of being yourself. And yes, you do love music. Thank you for confirming. Awesome. Awesome. So we're just about to wrap up, but I just want to encourage you all, be yourself. When you step into your genius, and you hear me talking about genius all the time, genius is what makes life stand still. It's when you feel like everything is just flowing and everything is right. When you are doing the things that you were made to do, that's what I'm talking about when I call it your genius or your calling. That's when you shine your brightest. And when you shine, not only do you enhance your own life and the quality of your life, but you enhance the lives of countless other people. You never know the positive ripples that you're sending out into the world just by being the best version of you. And Zatley said, a plus on the silliness for me. Absolutely. And let's see, Zatley, you ditto to Jody Goldberg. And I don't know who Jody Goldberg is, but Jody G is on. So maybe you can invite Jody Goldberg to come to the next broadcast. That would be really cool. Get some new people in here. Yes, Zatley, helping others shine is your mission, and you shine at helping others shine. I say this all the time, but I'm going to say it again here too. When Zatley came to NCDPI, the feeling of the staff was that we didn't have enough enough bandwidth to really drill down to helping the teachers. We were focused on those who were more in the leadership roles. And Zatley said, hey, watch this, and has created fantastic programs from the state level to work with teachers directly to help them work with English learners. And she has helped grow many, many people through this. Just a fantastic way that Zatley shines. And she always brings her smile and her excitement and her energy to the work as well. So thank you, Zatley. Yes, helping others shine is your mission. And when I don't feel like shining, she helps me shine. And if she doesn't feel like shining, I help her shine. And that's part of our mission too. So I love the comments. So I just want to encourage you, you never know all the people that you are touching just by being you. You are a gift. If no one's told you that today, I want you to hear it loudly and clearly. You are a gift. And remember that sometimes the things you question the most, or that you want to change or you want to hide, they are really the pieces that are why you are here. And I have to say that one of the most exciting parts about being me is that being me led me to you. And that's really an amazing, exciting piece. So I'll see if you have any other comments. Oh, let me turn off the question banner. I'm still learning how to work these new pieces. I also set up something that said I would have my website across the screen. I don't see it, so I don't know if it's there. Thank you, Jody. We are all gifts in our own ways, and sometimes it's easier to see the gift in people than it is with others, so we just have to look for it. So anyway, this is step 9 out of the 10 steps to illuminate your insights. And if you want to get all 10 steps, you can get that at the website, myilluminaryinsights.com, on the book page. And I would love to hear from you what you are doing to illuminate your insights using those steps. And you can reach out to me through the Let's Talk tab on the website as well. So I can type see if I can type it and talk at the same time. Jody beat me to it. myilluminaryinsights.com. So if you found today's episode entertaining or educational, please share it with others. Invite them to join us on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see if there's any more comments. Continue to think about how unique you are. And next week's broadcast, the last of the series of the 10 Luminary Insights pieces here, is all about loving yourself, which is a little different than just being yourself. And so I look forward to sharing that with you. I hope you'll plan on coming next week and bring somebody else along so we can talk about how to love yourself. So thank you again for coming tonight. And with love and light, Ivanna signing off.